Good morning and welcome to my channel. So this morning I thought I would do a video on getting started with cloth nappies because obviously it's kind of a hobby of mine, or an addiction you may say, of the cloth nappies. So I've been using them well over a year now. I feel like I've pretty much got my routine down, know what I'm doing, know the different types. So when I started, I would have really liked a video that put everything together, telling you what you need, the different types of nappies and things like that. So I'm going to do a little mini series. Today's just going to show you what you need to get started. I'm going to show you now my nappy storage, which is an IKEA DVD rack. It's got all my different nappies on. Got my terry nappies there. Some wraps down there, some pockets, some all-in-ones, some all-in-two, which I will explain the difference between all of these. So here goes. Depending on if you're going to jump straight in with being cloth full-time like what I did, and depending whether you're going from birth or you're starting when baby's a little bit older, will kind of depend on which type of nappies that you need. And maybe how many, because newborns tend to pee and need changing a lot quicker. But I started off with roughly 15 day nappies and 3 night nappies, and that was enough for us just to get started off with. Obviously, as you've seen from my nappy stash, and I'll put a little thing of it when it's fully restocked after a wash. I've got a lot more than that in my stash now because we have them on rotation. I have different ones that I prefer for different times. Like when we go out, I prefer certain types. When we're in, I prefer different types depending on the weather and how quickly they're going to dry. But yeah, just as a starter, I would say you need roughly 15 day nappies and 3 night nappies. Some people don't go in with overnight straight away, so you wouldn't need to go. You could just stay in your disposable. Or you can even part-time cloth throughout the day and just build up your stash gradually. Just bear in mind that you do need to wash every 2 days, at least every 2 days. Sometimes push it to the 3rd day, but only if that's like the morning. Really, it should be every 2 days for your wash day. So yeah, so you need your 15 day nappies. I've got a few different types of day nappies, obviously depending on your preference, but I'm going to do a couple of little videos showing different types and talk through them all properly. But I mean, there's so many different brands out there, so many different types of nappies, such as this one's an all-in-two. I've only got I've got 2 all-in-two nappies. There's the all-in-one nappy, which is essentially everything's all in one. These are the closest that you get to a disposable, and what my husband finds the easiest to use. So while I was saying about whether you going from newborn or you're going from a bit older, is a lot of my stash now are birth to potty nappies. So these would be, they say from birth, but it's from about 9 or 10 pounds. So these wouldn't have fit my newborn, but these make up the majority of my stash now are birth to potty nappies. So these come in all the different types, all in one, all in twos, pocket nappies, etc. But if you have an older baby and you're starting cloth with them and you're wanting obviously to only buy once, your birth to potty nappies are the way to go because they have different sizes. You just adjust the size by snapping the little poppers together to make a smaller nappy, like so. It should fit from, as I say, about 9 or 10 pounds. And then as baby grows, you just unpopper them, make a larger nappy, and that will go up to potty training essentially, which is why they call them the birth to potty nappies. So if you're going from, as I say, an older baby and you're not starting from birth, I would recommend birth to potty are your type. So you'd need, let's say, about 15 of these for daytime. So that's the all-in-one, but I'll explain all those. So this again, another all-in-one. This is one of my favourite ones, and another birth to potty. There's pocket nappies, and this is what I mean, like, it's just a minefield when you're first out there and you're like, oh my goodness me, there's these pockets all in ones, all these in twos, there's two parters, blah blah blah. But really, once you get your head around it, it is quite simple. And essentially, to get started, all you need to know is you need your 15-day and maybe three or four nighttime nappies. So these are what we use in the daytime. Our birth to potty nappies, and we obviously store them on the rack, so we've got a good storage system in place. I can see all my different prints, pull them off when I need them. Didn't start off like that. They started off in collapse boxes that we just grabbed them out when we wanted them. Don't need anything fancy. And then your night nappies tend to be a more absorbent, bigger, more bulkier. This one's a fitted one, so this doesn't go birth to potty. This one's a sized nappy, which you can get. It go in size 1, 2, 3. Obviously, if you're starting from newborn, you would need a size 1, possibly a size 2. I think I started in size 2s actually for Jack overnight. I've never went for the size 1s, so I'll just have to sell them on anyway afterwards, because they'll grow out of them pretty quick. So we started off in the size 2. This is the size 2. He's 14 months and he still fits into that. So these are your night nappies. Again, there's all different styles of night nappies too, but essentially it's just an absorbent inner nappy, shaped, easy to put on, velcro. It's all boosted up inside for extra absorbency, and then you'll need a few wraps just for over the top. So you just put your nappy inside, fasten the wrap over the top for the waterproofness, and that's your night nappy. But I'm going to do, like I say, another little video on night nappies, how to set them up, different types that you can get, different materials, etc. But I just wanted to jump on and do like a really quick, or this will get you set up, you know, for what you need. So you have your day nappies and your night nappies. What you will also need, I say, somewhere to keep your clean nappies, storage wise, and then somewhere to put your dirty nappies. So I have a wet bag, which I'll bring up here. So this is my wet bag. I've got an extra large wet bag. This is instead of a nappy bucket, because they no longer recommend soaking nappies, because it will damage the elastic and the materials that modern cloth nappies are made out of. So I go for a wet bag over a nappy bucket, because I find nappy buckets really smell, because you have the lid on, traps all the like smell and moisture, everything. There's no airflow, and they just, it really smelled. We had a nappy bucket to start with and I didn't like that at all. So we've gone for the wet bag. I never zip it up, I leave it open so it's got airflow to it, and we never get any smells at all. Me personally, because he's now after weaning, I have a large one for the wet nappies, and then I have a smaller one for dirty nappies, because they get rinsed at the end of each day. Scraped off down the loo and rinsed at the end of each day. And it just helps me to keep them separate, the dirty and the wet nappies. But if you're doing it from birth, you don't need to do that. They can all go in one bag and then they all just get washed together. So that's pretty easy if you're going from birth. And I'll do a little video on our like wash routine and explain how that works as well. So if you keep tuned, you can watch the full series of all things nappy related. It's something I'm really passionate about. It was my friend actually told me to use them. I'd never considered them with the first 2 kids, so I don't know, just threw myself into it like fully this time round, and I absolutely love them. Like, they're so much better than the disposable. There's no smell. genuinely have to like check him to see if he's pooped, because you can't smell when he's pooed, you can't smell when he's weed. They were just like obviously routinely check, but the smell that comes from disposables when I've put him in is just unreal. You don't even realise until you use the different types. Anyway, I digress. So you've got your night nappies, your day nappies, you've then got your wet bags, or dry pail as they call them, to put your dirty nappies in. I also have little travel wet bags just for when we're out and about, just to shove a couple in if we're out for the day. So you'll maybe need 1 or 2 of them to start with. I've ended up having about 6 or 7, but at the beginning I only had 2, and that was plenty. Then if you're opting for cloth wipes as well and not disposables, you'll need, I would say, well, I've probably got about 60 wipes, but I do use them for like wiping hands, wiping faces, wiping high tear down stuff. I use them for all sorts. I think at the beginning I had 30, and that was plenty. So yeah, about roughly 30 cloth wipes, I would say. I'm gonna bob a little list up on here as well, so you can see, like, you know, what your bare minimum is, just for getting started and setting you up. So I'll put that on. Also, nappy liners. So once baby is weaned, you've got your disposable liners if you want to use them. So when they've pooped, you just chuck it away. Don't flush them, even if it says flushable. Not flushable, so it needs to get thrown away. So your liner essentially, well, basically is, you have your nappy, you put your liner in, catches the poop, easy peasy. So that's like once weaned, because pre-weaning there's no point, because the poop's just liquid, it'll just go straight through the reusable. So that's where fleece liners come in, or your reusable liners. These are really good because they keep baby's bum dry as well. And the moisture wicks through the fleece and into the nappy. Now, I still use these mainly above disposable liners anyway. I just much prefer them. Because you can just keep reusing them. Obviously, you don't have to keep rebuying like you do with the disposable. Sometimes, if I know it's not Addie's daily poop, I'll put both in. But so your fleece liner is just exactly the same thing. Put it in. And I just got as many as the nappies that I had in the beginning. So I had 15 day nappies and I had 15 reusable liners. That's all you need. 1 per nappy. Keeps baby's bum dry. So yeah, they're the reusable liners. You can get different types of them too. Like this one's a really furry one. This one's more of a smooth one. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I'd say about 15 of your reusable liners as well, if that's what you're going to go for, or a roll of disposable, if that's what you so desire. And then the next thing you're going to need are boosters. Now, these are not as essential from newborn because babies are getting changed so often. The nappies don't need to be boosted. They don't need to be more absorbent, because you should be changing your baby at least minimum every 2 hours at newborn, and that's whether they're in a disposable or in a cloth nappy. So they don't really need boosting up. But as they get bigger, you can get these boosters, and they're different absorbences just to put in your nappies to increase how much they're going to soak up. So I mean, I can't really give you a number on these, but I would probably start off with 1 per nappy extra. So say you got a pocket nappy that came with 1 booster, you'd want an extra booster just in case for your absorbency. So I put these in to all my different types of nappies. Every nappy that I have now has one at least booster, as well as the original absorbency, just to increase that for Jack, because he pees for England. There's all different materials of these you can get as well. I'll go into that. Yeah, so that is your boosters. So roughly 15 of those. And I think that is that for getting started. Obviously you need somewhere to be able to wash them, so you need wash facilities, you need your washing powder. Now look into this, because there's a lot of debate about what's the best type of wash powder, be it bio or non-bio. There's a lot of different information out there on wash routines, but I found one that works for us. We've never had any issues with nappy rash or smelly nappies, anything like that. Our routine works for us, and I use non-bio wash powder. So yeah, I will do a thing on the routine, but as I said, different people have different opinions on what is the best wash routine, depending on which website you look at, and I don't want to particularly endorse either or, so I'll just show you what we've used and what works for us. So you need somewhere to be able to wash them, and you need somewhere to be able to dry them. Now you don't need a jumbo dryer, as long as you've got either a washing line, clothes airer, clothes horse, maiden, what you call them, either the over radiator hangers. But what I will say is don't put your nappies actually on the radiator to dry, because it can damage the waterproof plastic layer. Or even like a Soctopus, you know, those things you get from IKEA that you with the little peggy things on, you can dry them on them. So yeah, I think that's basically it. Somewhere to store them, somewhere to wash them, somewhere to dry them, somewhere for your dirty and wet nappies, and then your actual nappies and wipes. So I'm gonna put them all in a pile here. I'll go through, show you each one, put the little list up so you can see, but essentially that's all you need for getting started. So stay tuned afterwards, and I'll get a few little videos bobbed on of your different types of nappies too. Hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you found it informative, and I shall see you guys later. So you've got your day nappies, 15 to 20 of them. 15, that'll set you up. Your wraps, we started off with 3 and then quickly went up to 5. But if you're only using them for night time, 3 will do. Your night nappies, which you'll need 2 to 3, just to allow for drying time. Cloth wipes, started off with about 30. Your liners, if you're using reusable, just enough for 1 per nappy, or disposables come on a roll. Your boosters, just to add extra absorbency, I'd say an extra 1 per nappy, so about 15 to 20, because if you want to use them in your night ones too. And your wet bags for out and about, your large wet bags for dirty and wet nappies. Also, just before I go, I just wanted to say, like, don't stress if you're thinking it's a massive expense in the first place. There are things called nappy libraries which you can go to. You can just Google your local nappy library and you can hire them out. So I think it's normally for about 4 weeks. We did that with when Jack was newborn, so that I didn't have to buy smaller newborn sizes and then re-buy the birth to potty ones afterwards. So if you Google that, you might have a local nappy library. I think it was £20 for a 4-week hire, which was amazing. In fact, it could have even been an 8-week hire. So yeah, so that was really good. Also, there's a really big market of pre-loved cloth nappies. So if you're not wanting to fork out a lot of money on brand new, there's also budget nappies out there. There's a lot of nappy incentive schemes. If you type that in Google, or look at what your local council offers, because a lot of local councils offer either a voucher with money off or even a full nappy kit with a fair few nappies, wipes, etc. in, just to get you started and get you off on your cloth nappy venture. So and as well, just before I bob off, I did say that these ones obviously that we use are the birthday potty and pretty much no good for newborns. We got the hire kit from the library for Jack as a newborn, so that we didn't have to buy twice, but we also just use muslins, just your normal bog standard muslins that you get from the supermarket or wherever. Fold them up like terry nappy style with a little nappy nipper. Hang on, I should grab one, I'll show you what I mean. Come back. So yeah, just your normal muslins. These I used for newborn, the only things that I actually bought for newborn really, and they worked really well. So essentially, I'll just do this really quickly. It's not going to be the neatest fold because I'm just doing it really quickly to show you, but let me turn around. Yeah, made it into a little nappy shape, and at first this was plenty of absorbency, and you just fold it around the baby and you use this nappy nipper to clip it together. But as I said, I'll show all this on the other videos that I do of each type, but I just wanted to let you know, like from newborn, these are really good. And then when he got, like, he was peeing a bit more, I'd put a booster in as well and then fold it up round him, but on a different video. But they're recommended by so many people for the newborn stage, just to get you through those few weeks where they don't quite fit in a birthday potty and you don't want to be spending like big amounts of cash on newborn sized for them to grow out within a few weeks. Yeah, we was in birthday potty from about 8, 9, 10 weeks, although some do stay in the newborn size till like 4 or 5 months. Obviously it depends on the size of your baby. So yeah, I think that's everything. That's you getting started. I hope it all made sense. If you've got any questions, just bob it in the comments for me. I will be happy to answer. I'm gonna bob off and get started on doing a few of the rest of the series for you while he's quiet and asleep and I've got the chance to do it, because I feel a bit manic sometimes trying to get these done. Right, yeah, I hope you enjoyed and I hope you come back to find out more. Thank you, bye.